Dortches Baptist Church. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Where did we come from? Where are we going from here? More importantly, will you join us and become part of our unfolding future?
When I can remember the church being built, I can remember going to church in the school. I remember the school was right across Parsons there. I remember going to church over there, and I remember Mr. Lowe, C.G. Lowe. And then I remember Irby Jackson because I made a profession of faith when he was pastor here.
The story of Dortches Baptist Church begins over 100 years ago, and it wasn't even called Dortches in those days. Did you know our church was originally called Stony Creek Baptist Church? It all began in 1889 when a group of men met in the old Dortch gin house and organized a debating society. When the wives heard glowing reports of the discussions that took place, they decided they wanted in on the action. However, it was not considered proper for a woman to attend these meetings. So the women decided to organize prayer services and use the gin house as their meeting place. Pretty soon the whole community started attending. It became obvious that there was a need in the community for worship, and under the leadership of Pastor Barkley and his niece, Miss Lucy, a Sunday school was organized. They met regularly during the summer months, but they had to disband in the winter on account of the gin house didn't have any heat. The Farmers Alliance built a building to be used as both a schoolhouse and a meeting place for the Alliance. The Sunday school started meeting in this building. Now that they had better facilities, this community fellowship organized into a church on June 25, 1893. C.F. Ellen, J.J. and Emily Coley, B.F. and Molly Westry, and W.M. Eason were received by letter. J.J. Coley suggested the church be named Stony Creek Baptist Church. Even before they built a separate church building, they decided to build a parsonage. In 1921, the first parsonage was built on property that was purchased from John Henry Griffin. By 1927, the deacons recommended that the church build a new house of worship and appointed a building committee. By January 1932, enough money had been raised to begin the project. The church adopted a plan and authorized the building committee to begin work as soon as possible. A small lot was purchased from John Price. When funds ran low, the church was forced to postpone building. The doors and windows were boarded up. By 1934, the church was able to resume work on the new building.
Started building, we ran out of money, and people back then didn't believe in borrowed money, so they just stopped until we got enough money to begin building again. The old church faced the Town Hall Road because Highway 43 was not built then. That's the reason the church is opposite from what it used to be. Where the parking lot is now was a kind of a low place, and people hauled, with mules and wagons, hauled dirt in there and filled in. And there's a pipe that runs from this road that comes out down at the corner front of the church and goes across.
By the 1950s, mission programs were in full swing, including the Women's Missionary Society, as well as mission programs for children.
We had RAs, GAs, and I went to Ridgecrest, which is the Baptist Assembly in North Carolina. But we went up there for a week, and I had a great time. We would have classes of a morning, afternoon, at night we'd have classes and lectures and things like that.
By 1953, the church held its first vacation Bible school with a total enrollment of 93.
I went to Bible school, and we had, I can remember Mr. Councilman did Bible school. We had excellent Bible school teachers. We'd go at 8 o'clock in the morning and get out about 11:30. Some of the projects we do, some of us kids that didn't work, would come back and work on our projects in the afternoon. I still have some of the ones that I made.
Also in the 1950s, the music program became a lot more solid. By 1954, an adult choir was organized, with youth and children's choirs to follow shortly thereafter. In 1951, the church voted to get an organ as a Christmas present to the church. An organ fund was started, and the organ was installed debt-free by June 8, 1952, when the church gathered for a special dedication service. Later, the Coley family gave the church a beautiful spinet piano in memory of Mr. and Mrs. H.O. Coley and Rachel. Dortches Baptist Church continued to grow in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. In 1963, the church built a new parsonage for the pastor. The old parsonage then became the church office as well as the nursery. At a business meeting on September 27, 1970, the church adopted a new constitution, and it was at this time that the church also voted to change the name from Stony Creek to Dortches Baptist Church.
I was married in 1940 to Shirley Smith and came to Dortches. I started to go into this church, which was a Stony Creek Baptist Church. It was a small church. The classrooms and the nursery were in the basement. When the people would leave church, they would go through the front door and stand around and talk and visit with one another before they went home. There was no hurry to go home. I've been going to this church for 75 years, heard 13 preachers. I've been fortunate to have 98 years given to me, and I'm the oldest member of the church at this time.
By December 1972, construction on the new education building was complete.
When we built that, where the office and that library and all that, we had to borrow money. Man, that was terrible, borrowing money. Well, I think we finally sold on the bonds or something. Some of them thought that was terrible. We need to have the money if we're gonna build it. But we paid it all. Nobody else, some people, even when they know it was due, they just turn it in and then take the money.
And in 1988, our sanctuary gained a steeple given by Miss Mabel Ellen in memory and honor of all the Ellen family. The next major building project for the church was the Family Life Center. Once again, our church came together and worked hard to accomplish the impossible. This building project expanded the Sunday school capacity, provided updated bathroom facilities that included showers. Additionally, the Family Life Center created a multi-purpose space with a fully equipped commercial kitchen, making it the ideal meeting space for special events, sports tournaments, fellowship meals, and general church gatherings. This space was designed to meet ministry needs and provide a place for activities for all ages. The Family Life Center was completed in 1999. By 2009, the church had completely paid off its most ambitious building project and celebrated with a note-burning ceremony at homecoming that year. The Family Life Center meant change for the church. Gone were the days of standing around under the shade of the pecan trees during outdoor church picnics. But it didn't take long before the church enjoyed its new state-of-the-art air-conditioned facilities, and the desire to return to the days of swatting gnats in the sun faded away. Now the Family Life Center is such a central part of the life of the church that it's hard to imagine how we managed without it. Why is Dortches Baptist Church important to you?
Because it's my church and I like to worship God.
Where do you see us heading in the future?
As a big church with lots of people who love the Lord.
Dortches Baptist Church has taught me how to love and care and show respect for many people. And it's a very family-oriented church, and it teaches me a whole lot, and the members here are very wonderful and great.
Dortches Baptist Church has been wonderful for me and my family. It's been a great foundation for my church knowledge. I'm learning about the Bible. It's a great place to bring my kids. They love to come to church every Sunday. I definitely see us moving forward. The children's program's really growing. Our attendance seems to be growing. Young people are coming in with their children. We have lots of new babies. So hopefully we're moving in the right direction.
Dortches Baptist Church is important to me because all the people are just really friendly. That's the first thing I noticed when I came to this church. People really do love you here. I look forward to seeing how Dortches Baptist Church changes and develops, seeing new people coming in, get youth and children in. So definitely invite whoever to come and enjoy our fellowship.
I've been coming here since last Christmas, and I just really enjoy fellowship and the warm welcomes I've received from everybody here, making me feel part of the family, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Dortches Baptist Church has quite a rich history. It survived the Great Depression and lived through 2 world wars. It thrived during the church boom of the 1950s and survived the cultural changes of the 60s and 70s. Dortches Baptist Church has continued to adapt to the changing world around it on through the millennia and continues to reach the next generation for Christ. It is our hope and dream that Dortches Baptist Church will continue its mission well into the future, furthering the kingdom by reaching out in ways that are culturally relevant and impact people's lives, as its members continue to strive to be the hands and feet of Christ, a tangible reminder of God's love and grace to a broken world still in need of salvation. What lies ahead for our church? Only God knows. But if we stay committed to being and becoming the church God has called us to be, I am confident those plans will unfold in ways that may surprise us. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord in Jeremiah 29:11. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future.